Hello everyone and welcome to this new episode of Total War Through the Ages. Right off the bat, I want to say sorry for this episode coming out later than usual. That is because, as you may have noticed, I have a new microphone. And I have a new microphone because my old one basically died. Now, it's not technically dead, but the sound quality just got so bad over the weekend that I didn't want to have to use it. I did actually have to use it to record some videos, but that's a different thing. It's not part of this series. I didn't want to do it for this series for a lot of different reasons. So, yeah, this is a new microphone. It's probably going to take me a while to get it perfectly set up. I'm kind of playing around with the settings, and I'm also working on trying to get a setup to where it will be the proper distance from my mouth and stuff while I'm speaking and everything. But again, all that stuff should get smoothed out over the next couple weeks. But in the meantime, we will be jumping into this episode. So thank you all for your patience, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello everyone, and welcome to Total War Through the Ages. In this episode, we're going to be covering the Battle of Corduba. I believe that is the name of the settlement in Spain here that we're about to fight. So, in this battle, I skipped the deployment because, well, I'll kind of go over it now. As you can see, my forces are deployed relatively normally. I have the checkered pattern, though I wasn't able to do it as much as I would like to, or as efficiently, because I have a lot of mercenaries, and I only have 2 units of early legionaries, so those are really the only heavy infantry I have, the Hastati being light infantry. So I mainly only have light infantry, which really sucks, and definitely makes this battle a bit interesting. However, fortunately, we have this one unit of mercenary elephants, and I have to say, they are the MVP of this battle. And you guys will see why very shortly. Now, I didn't use my cavalry to great effect either. I should have had my cavalry positioned a little bit better initially, because the enemy is able to get quite a few cavalry charges off on me, which I couldn't have really stopped, I couldn't really stop with any of my infantry because I don't have any units of auxilia or triari. But I did have 3 units of cavalry, which if I'd used them better, 4 units of cavalry, which if I'd used them better, I could have actually prevented a lot of the enemy cavalry charges. And as you see here, I also kind of did some not too great charges, which then caused my 1 unit of mercenaries to rout, then 2 units of mercenaries to rout, and then as we see, the enemy cavalry's charges start coming in here, and I wasn't able to counter them very well. However, as you saw there, I got my mercenary elephants charged off to basically kind of crush through the enemy's right flank, which they do pretty much no problems whatsoever. But over here, meanwhile, on the left and in my center, oh dear, lots of routing is going on, and this is not good. So I'm trying my best to catch some of the enemy cavalry out, with some of my cavalry as well as some of my infantry to try and take them out, because at this point I know the enemy infantry are going to be weaker than mine overall, and I know, but their cavalry is going to be the main thing I'm worried about, because they actually have some decent cavalry here, because these units are the Carthaginian template. So their infantry is not too great because they didn't have any spear infantry, and their sword infantry isn't nearly as good as the Roman sword infantry. However, their cavalry is pretty solid, so I was a little bit worried about that. And as we see, I'm starting to kind of get some of the stuff back under control. At least that's what I thought, until and I was very worried that I did not want to lose my general, because if I lost my general at this point in the battle, that totally would have meant I would have lost the battle. And now here we see we have several of my cavalry, in fact all of my cavalry on my left flank has started to rout. So I'm trying to draw back some of my infantry over to my right. The center's just gone. It's basically just the left and right sides now, with the center being completely gone. But some of my units in the back start to kind of rally, and so I'm going to try and start bringing them up. However, the enemy cavalry is still causing me quite a bit of problem, or quite a bit of trouble, I should say. That's the proper way of saying that. And here we have yeah, I'm trying to get my infantry back together so I can stick together, because right now my infantry is so spread out that the enemy cavalry can come in and with a charge or two can kind of cause my infantry to rout, which if I have my infantry in a group, they can support each other a lot better, and they can kind of bog down the enemy cavalry. And as you can kind of see off in the distance, I haven't really paid much attention, but my elephants are still just in the back rampaging through the enemy ranks. So that was just I just now noticed them right there back there, so I kind of ordered them, okay, charge another unit that hasn't broken yet. enemy general goes down, which is really great. And also, as you can see in the back there, if you kind of look carefully in the center of the screen towards the back, where my elephants are kind of heading, the enemy had a reinforcing army coming in, and that's that reinforcing army. And I don't know why, but the AI actually sent that entire reinforcing army against my elephants, which is one of the other reasons why my elephants are like the total MVPs of this battle, because if they had actually sent the rest of their army against my main force, I would have, there's no way I could have won. But they sent them after my elephants, and my elephants basically just continued, and eventually here in a little bit, I think my elephants start to rampage and go berserk. But in the meantime, my elephants are just tying up the entire other enemy army, pretty much. And now we do see some enemy units coming in here, and again, I'm trying to get my elephants to, I focus a little more on my elephants and try and have them charge at some of the targets. And I initially was going to have them charge this big blocks of infantry, but they go into loose formation, which is actually a tactic I hadn't ever thought of using while fighting elephants, is just put your infantry in loose formation and the elephants can't do as much damage. But because of that, I try and have them go after some of the enemy cavalry, since the cavalry has been the thing that's been causing me problems so far. So I've started to kind of rally back, and I've gotten my thing, but at this point, I've lost probably over half my army, and my army is really beaten up. But I am able to kind of start drawing all the remnants of my army back together, and we're going to try and salvage victory from this not too great battle. I have to say, this was probably one of the worst battles I've had in quite some time. There we go. Another one of my mercenary units rout, and this came down to not having very much heavy infantry. I only had Hastati was the main units I had. So I definitely think only having the 2 units of early legionaries was a problem, and I'm definitely going to try and avoid having that in the future. I definitely want to have, at the very least, Princeps, or preferably early legionaries as kind of a minimum, and then of course legionaries would be ideal. But again, legionaries are a little bit hard to come by these days, because I don't have that many settlements that can actually recruit them yet. Now that is something I'm going to hopefully try and amend at some point in the future. But right now I've got lots of other stuff on my plate, so we haven't been able to focus on that. And now, checking back to the elephants have been running amok for a while. This is skipping a bit ahead in the battle. I don't know why I stuttered there. I apologize for that. But here we have him going on, and it's just this one elephant keeps all those units distracted for a long time. So cutting forward now, we see the elephant still here. This is like a decent amount of time went by in between those edits there, and that one lone elephant just kept most of the enemy army occupied. But the enemy does send a couple units forward. In fact, the first unit they have charging in here is their general, and so I have my archers trying to focus fire on the general, because I want to try and kill the general. If I can kill the general of this army, that will be really good. And of course, it's one of their last cavalry units left, and I'd rather. So there we go. Enemy general runs. I didn't get to kill him, but that's fine. I'll just take a route. That works for me. And then here we have one more, or actually that one unit of infantry pulled up, but then they actually routed as soon as they got close to my guys. And then they have one more unit coming up, which I'm going to go ahead and advance on, because they do have 1 or 2 units left over chasing my elephants. Or maybe actually even 3, I don't recall, but they have a couple units left over fight by my elephants, so I want to go ahead and gang up on this one unit while it's by itself, which of course it routes pretty easily, and then we rally my guys back over and kind of reform a new line. And I'm actually going to end up killing my own elephant, because that elephant over there is on a rampage, so I will actually tell the elephant rider. I don't remember what they're called. There's a specific name for the elephant guys, but the elephant guys who control elephants. I don't remember what it is. I think it's a mahout or something. I believe it's a mahout is what they're called. But anyway, I ordered the guy to spike the elephant and kill it, so that the enemy units would stop chasing it around endlessly and actually come and attack the rest of my guys. But they actually decide, nope, after chasing an elephant around, they're done. So they just head on out. So that's all we have for this episode. I do apologize, this episode is a bit shorter than usual, but again, kind of, as I said in the introduction, there's reasons behind why this episode's a bit shorter, but thank you all for watching. Be sure to check back every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for Total War Through the Ages, and as always, till next time.